Hey Randy, I just watched your video and I wanted to shoot you this quick reply with a few concepts that I think may help you. So I'm going to share three concepts with you. The first one is about distinguishing between the voice of the ego and the voice of the true self. Then secondly, I want to talk about when you feel like the process isn't happening fast enough, that the universe isn't bringing to you what you want quick enough. And then thirdly, I also want to speak about negotiating with the ego when the fears are popping up. So distinguishing between the voice of ego and true self, this is something I really got confused about, and I'm still learning how to do that. Now, the voice of ego-driven desires usually pop up because of anxiety. It can be difficult to distinguish between excitement, true excitement, which is coming from the true self, and anxiety. Now, anxiety can be experienced as a kind of excitement, but it's not. When I say a kind of excitement, thrill seeking, and we can thrill seek in addictions. I used to thrill seek in using pornography, which I can thankfully say I've been released from its clutch. And what we do when we're thrill seeking is we build up an argument in favor of it. So the argument may go along the lines of, it's not doing any harm, go on, I can do this now, and then tomorrow I'll forget about it and I'll be different. Kind of like arguing, saying that there's not going to be any consequences of that action, but there are always psychological consequences when we don't honour ourselves. When we do follow through on the thrill seeking, the important thing is not to beat up on yourself with guilt, because that just, you feel guilty and then you want to feel good again as a way to get rid of the guilt feelings. And the way we feel good is we go to the addictions, the vices, and all that kind of stuff, so it keeps you in a loop. So now, that's not to say that looking at the Mini Cooper is thrill seeking. I mean, ultimately you're the only one that can know when it's your true self and when it's the ego. So my only advice really would be, and before I say what I was about to say, when we're going through a transition, sometimes we go through periods of time where it doesn't appear as though much is happening, and the brain and the body requires entertainment. And when there's not much happening, we seek a chemical hit. And that chemical hit can come in the form of buying something to get that feel-good chemistry going in the body. So sometimes it's a case of, how long can you hold out? But just being aware of that and sticking to your priorities. Prioritizing. Now, I have to be very careful here, because I'm saying stick to your priorities, so it's as though I'm saying the Mini Cooper isn't a priority, don't focus on it, but I don't truly know that. So my only advice would be to maybe investigate what would be the pain. You see, we do what we do because we want to attain pleasure and avoid pain. The brain is wired that way. So you could ask yourself, what's the joy of getting the Mini Cooper? What's the pain of getting the Mini Cooper? What's the joy of not buying the Mini Cooper? What do I stand to gain by not buying the Mini Cooper? And just explore that a little bit and see what you come up with. Who would I be if I got the Mini Cooper? Who would I be if I decide not to get the Mini Cooper? So distinguishing between anxiety and excitement can help. So I don't, these concepts, I'm using them in my own life, and when it truly becomes my truth, I'll probably share it on my YouTube channel. So, but I just want to share them with you because I know that your imagination and your subconscious mind will fill in the blanks. So I know that this is a bit patchy, this video, but anyway, on to the next one, which was when you feel like things aren't happening fast enough. So I came across this concept that in physical reality, we're physical beings, infinite spirit in a physical body. There are limitations of physical reality that don't exist on the spirit plane. On the spirit plane, very much in the same way as in a lucid dream, when you think of something, it manifests. It's there. There's no process of applying will, applying certain faculties and experiencing that intent and that manifestation come to fruition. On the physical plane, we want to get from A to B, and we experience going through a number of steps to get to B. Now, that period of action, there is value in that, and if we just jumped from A straight to B, we maybe wouldn't have got the wisdom of something that we needed to get from the journey of A to B. So we gain wisdom in the journey, and that's why you hear a lot that it is the journey. It's the journey, it's not the getting there, because when you get there, you want to manifest and expand and evolve and create another thing. So the getting there never brings about ultimate satisfaction. The satisfaction is being in this moment and taking the action because it's who you are. So when you take the action because it's who you are, you're exhibiting a certain vibration, and then the universe matches that vibration, and your reality begins to reflect the vibration you're giving off. So can there be spontaneous manifestation? Yeah, I've experienced a spontaneous manifestation. I'll share that story with you one day. It just materialized. And it was like, how can it be? And it was. So yeah, that's why we've decided to take on this journey of physical reality, to get that experience of transforming darkness into light. And so yeah, I wanted to share that with you for you to play around with. The third one was ego negotiation. So the idea is that the fear that pops up from the ego's perspective, the ego believes it's doing the right thing from its perspective, because the ego is there to make sure that you survive physical reality. What happens is it begins to think that it's running the show, but nonetheless, we need to give it the first win, so to speak. And by giving it the first win means that we acknowledge that, okay, I know you believe that you're doing this for my good. The ego is afraid that it's not going to be loved. So when we decide to take a course of action which goes way out of our comfort zone, the ego thinks that we're not taking its concerns into consideration. So if we negotiate with it, give it the first win, say, look, I know you're bringing this up because you want to protect me and look out for me. It does want the best for you because it's an aspect of you. But it can become negative in that it keeps us in the familiar, in the routine. We don't expand, we don't evolve. It can get out of control, monkey mind, swinging from one thought to the next, one fear to the next, one anxiety to the next. So it's letting it know that we're the master. The Chinese have an interesting proverb. Is it a proverb? That the mind is like a very powerful gorilla, and at first we need to tie up the gorilla and feed it bananas, and eventually the gorilla will calm down and keep feeding it bananas, and then we can untie the gorilla and it will sit next to us because it knows that it's with the master. So you can negotiate with the ego. You can say to it, I might have shared this with you before, where you say to it, look, just ease up on me 10%, okay? Let me show you that this course of action can work for us. Let me show you that this idea can work for us, and we can both enjoy the journey together. So, you see, it's a combination of things, a combination of sometimes you'll negotiate with it, sometimes you'll be the silent witness, just watching it, observing the thoughts, knowing that you're the one who is aware of the thought. You're not the thought itself. So we become detached from the narrative inside. Humans right now, me included, although I'm aware of it, at least, we're walking narratives. We wake up, we press play, and the thoughts go on, jumping from branch to branch. There's a technique I've come across from the Indian guy. It's where you unclutch. Because the thing with thoughts is they each build upon the next, and then builds upon the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. And then we get in a frame of mind where we've connected all the moments of the past, and we believe that that's what we are, that that's who we are, but we're not. We're different each moment. I mean, with the idea that you can drop the past is a reality. You really can drop it. We have beliefs and we have the definitions. Like when someone says that, we could have the belief that, what do you mean you can just drop your past? You can't drop your past. You have to go through a process. And that could mean, that belief could be that we have to go through a process of psychotherapy. It takes 3 years to be able to do that. And it's not true. That's my belief. That's my belief, to be fair, but that's what I've come across, Randy, with the information that I'm finding right now with the tapping. I mean, I don't have to explain it to you. You know about this, the tapping, where you can just release them and let go of stuff. So looking at the definitions, looking at the beliefs that we have can help as well, because sometimes we have beliefs about stuff we didn't know we had that belief. But being aware of the belief is all it takes, really, to let go of it. You see, I know this is turning into a long video. I'm going to say there's one last point. A habit, what's the definition of a habit? Many people's definition of a habit is something that you don't know that you're doing. But once it's a habit, You're conscious of the behavior. You say, oh, I have this habit. So if you continue to do it, it's no longer a habit. You're choosing to do it. So then you need to find out, why would I choose this? Because if it's a habit, that must mean that you're outside of the woods looking into the woods. I'm not explaining this very well. You see, when you can't see the wood for the trees, you need to come out of the forest so you can see the trees. So when you have the habit, you're outside looking in. You know, oh, I have this habit. That's awareness of it. So then it's to find out why I would choose to continue. And why would we choose to continue? Because we believe it serves us somehow. Maybe it keeps us safe. Maybe it keeps us from looking at something we don't want to look at. And we create distractions for ourselves, way of distracting ourselves, getting a bit of a chemical hit to keep us entertained for a little while. So anyway, just wanted to shoot those out onto video while it was on my mind. Hope you got something from this. Thanks for touching base with us. It was always cool to get a video from you, and I'm enjoying this journey of connecting right now, and looking forward to touching base again this weekend. So I hope you have a good time in Mexico, and I look forward to speaking to you. There's more I could say. I'm going to leave it there. Catch you later, Andy. Peace.